Dempsey and Jaguars great Fred Taylor will break down today's game. Jeff Lageman will have player interviews and an exclusive conversation with head coach Doug Marrone. Jaguars Postgame is sponsored by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, Geico, and by TIAA Bank. Jaguars Postgame starts right now.
Welcome in, Jaguars Postgame. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor coming up in just a little bit. The final score, Bengals 33, Jaguars 25. The Jags fall to 1-3, 3 consecutive losses for the Jags. The Bengals are now 1-2-1, their first win of the season. The first word with head coach Doug Marrone is coming up in just a moment with Jeff Lageman standing by. Jaguars defense had a number of injuries today. In the second half, the Bengals really took over the game after a couple of those and didn't look back. They scored in pretty much every possession in the second half and pulled away.
They did. They really missed Miles Jack out there, JP, but that secondary got decimated with injuries as well, and you hope that some of these things are going to be short-term because the Jags are really going to be short-handed going forward. Honestly, considering how many guys left today, C.J. Henderson, Miles Jack, D.J. Hayden, high-quality players, honestly, it's not surprising at all that the Bengals went up and down the field in the second half. This game, I thought the Jaguars defense did a solid job in the first half, particularly coming away with the big play at the goal line. You know, sometimes that's a difference. It's bend but don't break, and they didn't. They got the interception in the end zone from Miles Jack, but just not enough consistent offense to keep up with Cincinnati in half number 2.
Let's get the first word with head coach Doug Marrone, presented by Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. Here's Jeff Lageman.
All right, thank you, JP. Doug, decent start. We've talked about it with you all week long. Your team was able to come out, have an interception, but the defense responded, and you went in at halftime and had the lead. But the second half, it certainly changed course for your team.
Yeah, it did. I think, obviously we lost the momentum. They came out in their first 2 offensive series. They wound up scoring touchdowns. We had a chance to really get it going again, and then we had a big penalty on the big run where we could have at least, tried to answer that. And then I thought it was tough from there. I think that, we've seen guys make some plays. We've seen at times where we weren't being able to make plays, and we got a lot of young guys that are playing out there. We're just going to work to get these guys better and stay together as a team.
Yeah, that run certainly hurt early in the second half. A long run by James Robinson that called back, and the injuries seemed to pile up for your football team in the second half, from C.J. Henderson to Miles Jack to Cam Robinson, D.J. Hayden, Laviska Shenault. Not exactly what you want to be talking about after a game.
No, definitely not. I mean, you look at it, and then, there's an opportunity for some of those, other guys to step back in, and that's what we expect to do. People to step in there and make some plays, and, at times some of those young guys made some plays, and at times they got caught a little bit, or people made plays on them. So, they're going to be ready to go. We'll get them ready to go and get them back, and, we'll look at this film and correct our mistakes and keep pushing forward.
You knew that a young quarterback in Joe Burrow, you wanted to get pressure on him. Weren't able to do much of that. And then also to try to continue to have Joe Mixon not be a big part of their game plan. And Joe Mixon was able to have an effective day. It's hard to stop an offense and a young quarterback when he's able to have balance with a running game like he had today.
Yeah, they split us. They split us a couple of times. Up in the middle. We just kind of got washed a little bit. Then he was able to bounce it for that long touchdown run. They double cracked us, and we were man and came down inside, and he took it right outside right away and ran away from us. So, he did a good job. And then obviously, they did a lot of empty. They were spreading it out. They had some matchups, and we had some injuries. So, again, we'll just keep working on getting better, and we've got to win those one-on-one battles up front.
All right, Doug. Best of luck traveling home, and we'll talk to you this week.
Great. Thank you, Jeff.
All right, the first word with head coach Doug Marrone, as always, presented by Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve. When we return, the Baptist Health Locker Room Report. Jaguars fall. Bengals 33, Jags 25. And this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Hanania Subaru of Orange Park would like to present our new dealership with over 13.
Coach, can you hear us?
Okay.
All right. We'll go ahead with Mark Long and then Gene.
Hey, Doug, how do you explain that defensive effort, especially in the second half?
couldn't stop the run, really couldn't do anything right. And then if you can just tell us explain why the 2-point conversion there when you're, trailing, when you score and you're trailing by 14.
14. Yeah, 14. No problem. I think the first time you look at it and you use words like, hey, the effort of the defense, there was a lot of effort. I mean, I'm not going to, that's what I just told the team. There's a lot of effort, but, we weren't able to, they come out the second half. I thought we did a nice job in the first half defensively. In the second half, they come out, they had their first 2 drives where, they scored touchdowns. That we were a man. They double cracked, and he took it right outside, and we didn't have enough speed to get back outside to get him. He split us later on, twice inside. We just kind of overran it from a secondary, a second level position. And he made some plays, and we missed some tackles. I mean, we missed a couple tackles though, when he went up there inside. So it really goes back to the execution on that. To be able to do that. And then, we could have gotten the momentum back, and, we had a big play by James and it got called back by a holding penalty. I didn't see the hold, but it was thrown by the back judge. So, that really hurt us because, we couldn't respond to it. And I think that's what you have to do in a game like this. You have to be able to respond to those type of plays and be able to make plays. And, credit to Cincinnati, they made some plays. We had some guys in position, and, their guys came up with plays. So going for 2, you look at it at the time in the game, 6 minutes, it gives you, analytically, it's a better chance of winning the football game. If you go for 2 right there, I think the way the game was going, if you get it, now you're starting to put pressure on them. It's a little bit different ball game. Now you're going for the win, which is going to be aggressive. So it gives you a better chance to win the football game. That's why we went for 2.
Thanks, Mark. Let's go to Gene and then Hayes and then D-Rock.
Hey, Doug, a follow-up on the 2-pointer. Would you have even considered going for 2 had Josh Lambo been healthy?
Yes. At that point in the game, Gene, because of, again, I go back to, I don't like getting heavy into the analytics, of what we do, but, it gives you a better chance to win the football game, and that's what we were trying to do. With 6 minutes left, they were moving the football and want to go for 2, try to get a stop, and then go ahead and score a touchdown for the win. If not, you miss it, and now you're down by 8. Now you got to get the 2-point conversion to tie the game up.
As a follow-up, could you just talk about when he was in the game, the performance of Myles Jack, not only the interception in the end zone where he blindly, with his back to the ball, reached up and grabbed it, but how much your defense even suffered even worse once he went out of the game?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose, what happens in this league, it's tough to get these other guys a lot of reps, during the course of a week. You're very limited. So they're preparing in a different way that the guys that are on the field playing. I think Myles has been playing at an extremely high level for us. I think you saw that today early on. Obviously, that was an unbelievable play that he made. And, he's been making plays for us the whole time. So, CJ Henderson goes out and DJ, and then Claybrooks goes in for him. And DJ, Hayden goes out. And then Myles is out. So, you got a chance to look at some tough guys that are really giving great effort, and just, that we're just going to keep coaching up and get these guys ready to go. And, but, obviously, to answer your question, obviously, Myles is a big part of what we do, and he's been playing at a high level.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gene. Let's go to Hayes and then D-Rock.
Yeah, Doug, what's your level of disappointment that you guys haven't been able to build on the momentum from winning in week 1 and now you hit the quarter pole at 1-3?
Yeah, I just think, you go from week to week. I think, you want to be able to do that. We're in, it's tough. I mean, we've got to be able to make some plays. We've got to be able to coach them, and get guys better so they can win more of the one-on-one situations that we have. It's really on all of us, because I can't ask for more from the players and coaches, because it's not, like I said, it's not from a lack of effort or lack of trying. It's from a lack of whether we execute. And, today we were in position sometimes and they just made the plays, and we made some.
Thanks,
Hayes. Let's go to D-Rock and then Demetrius.
Doug, this was a team that had given up 14 sacks, I think 31 quarterback hits, and with a couple of exceptions, it didn't seem like you guys got close to them. Is it still a matter of guys just not winning one-on-ones, or is there another issue that we're not seeing?
Yeah, no, I think you're seeing it. I think that, we've got to do a good job. We've got to coach them up better. We've got to get them, technically to go in there because, obviously, it's a fine line, bringing pressure and being matched up out there. You're trying to change things up. You don't want to give them, everyone a great read. You got to watch your matchups on the outside as the game goes. But I think when you drop back to pass and you look to see, especially in the empty situation, there's going to be 5 guys blocking. Usually going to get 3 over 2, but you're going to have 2 guys singled up. So, we just got to do a better job of coaching those guys and get them in a better position to win.
When you guys lost CJ, does that impact your decision on whether or not you want to bring extra pressure because you're putting Claybrooks back there as opposed to Henderson?
I mean, it's hard and empty. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're an empty. If you bring in pressure, all of a sudden now it's, you look at the skill players. I had a ton of respect for the skill players coming into this game. I think it's difficult. We were going to mix it up on third down at times. We brought pressure, and you saw at the end, and Burrow gets out of it and runs for the first down. So, it's not a matter of, hey, are you bringing pressure? You're not, we're doing it, but we're not getting any results out of it. So, still got to win the one-on-one stuff, and trying to rely on trying to get someone free is a little bit. It's tough in this league.
Thanks, D-Rock. All right, let's go to Demetrius and then Jamal.
Hey, Coach, would you have liked to see Gardner maybe save some time there at the end, that last drive? You probably had a chance to spike it with around 40 seconds left and just kick the field goal then.
I think where I would have liked to get the spike. The spike, you usually want to use the spike and kick the field goal with 30 seconds. And I wanted to take a shot. It's hard because it's easy for us to stay on silent and say, hey, get it in the end zone, throw it in the end zone. We got it down to Cole, and in that situation, looking back, I probably, should have told Jay to tell him to spike it there, and that would have been, put us in a better position. Because, with the field goal and then the onside kick, thinking that you have a chance to get it, you want to do that about with 30 seconds, and we were too low on that. So I thought at that time I could have done a better job there, but I made a decision to go for it there because that was the only chance we had, really, of a kick the field goal, onside kick, and a Hail Mary. If you go for the touchdown, you get the onside kick, and I don't know if you're going to have enough time.
Yeah, and do you have an injury update on DJ, CJ, Miles, and Cam Robinson?
I can tell you where they are. Hold on, I got it on a piece of paper.
Appreciate it.
We're in the middle of CJ Henderson with a shoulder, Miles Jack with an ankle, DJ Hayden with a hamstring, Cam Robinson with a knee, and LaVisca with a hamstring. That's what I have.
Thank you.
I won't know. I won't know until later.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Demetrius. All right, let's wrap with 2 more, Jamal, and then we'll finish with Mia.
Hey, Coach, we talked a lot about you wanting to get the team off to a faster start this week. You got off to that fast start, but then just couldn't finish the game.
Hold on 1 second. Now,
can you ask again? We couldn't hear that part.
You're okay. I got someone walking in and out of this door. It's actually pissing me off.
Oh, it's all good.
That's rude now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll answer the question. Go ahead.
All right. We talked a lot about you wanting to get the team off to a faster start this week. You guys got off to that quick start, but just couldn't sustain throughout the game. Are there any further adjustments you want to make to try and, I guess, get the team to put together 4 full quarters?
Yeah, I mean, that's our goal. I mean, that's what we're looking to do. I mean, we wound up taking the football, in a game, and we go there and we throw an interception, an interception of, the guy just pops the ball up in the air and we throw an interception. The defense comes on and does a good start. So, I think, in the second half we come out and we don't really start fast, and that's where we wanted to do a good job. I think the whole goal is to go ahead for, 4 quarters and really do a good job and trying to put a full game together. I think that's what our goal is.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jamal. All right, let's finish with Mia, and then we'll move on some players.
Hey, Doug, I know you said you guys are trying the pass rush. It's just not getting there. Without having to bring in additional guys, change guys out, what can you do to create pass rush? Is there anything you can do right now?
Yeah, we're going to try to get these guys. We have guys that have the ability to do it. So we got to coach the heck out of them. We really do, and give them some opportunities. I thought they got us in some one-on-ones, and I'll probably go back and look, and I'm sure some of our guys will look at it and say, gosh, we need to win more, in that situation. And for us as coaches, we just got to help them out, and put them in a better situation. Really, get better plans on how we want to pass rush these guys, and go out there and execute it, because that's what we have to do a better job of, for sure.
And how would you evaluate run defense from the first half to the second half?
I thought we did a good job in the first half, but obviously in the second half we gave up. They double cracked. We were man coverage, like I said before, and Mixon did a good job. He just took a right-hand turn and took it right down and outran us. I thought inside, we overran at the second level. Miles wasn't in there. He could fix some of those things, and we gave up those big runs. But he's a really good back. We knew that coming in, and it's just we just again. Consistency. I think when you look at it, there's times where we did a good job, and there's times where we gave up some big plays, and we just got to keep working and do a better job of it.
All right, thanks, Mia, and thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Hey, DJ, no, Coach and you guys elect to take the ball first this game. Did you feel like, aside from obviously the obvious interception, did you feel like you guys got off to a strong start? Or if you didn't, why do you think you guys maybe struggled a little bit?
I wouldn't necessarily say a strong start, because I feel like we can be better. I think we didn't do bad at all. We moved the ball up and down the field. We have to capitalize on some of the plays, but with this offense, I feel like we have the ability to move the ball up and down the field, whether it's the first drive or last drive. We just got to figure out how to do it more consistently and do it every time.
Thanks, Mia. We'll go to Jamal, and then we'll go to John Shipley.
Hey, DJ, you guys scored early in the first quarter and then kind of stalled out a little bit after that. Took a while before you guys found the end zone again. Did the Bengals change the way they were playing you guys? Was there something different on the field, or were you guys just not executing?
Both. It did adjust the coverage a little bit. They went more too high safety than they usually play, at least what we studied on film. And it's also us not just completing the plays, passes, or moving the ball. Had a big run, I don't know at what point in the game, but it came back. That would have helped us a lot. That would have got the offensive line even more into it. Just the small things that we have to fix. But also, every week we can't say we have to fix it. We have to step up and do it. And, I feel like we can. I feel like we will. And I feel like we just got to be determined. And I think we got guys on this offense that's willing to put in the work.
Hey, one quick follow-up. Too high safeties is something that you guys have struggled with a bit in the past. Is it something that, players just you guys aren't adjusting quick enough on the fly when you see it, or what is it?
Last year we struggled a good bit with too high. This year, not as much. We moved the ball. Like in those 2-minute situations, a lot of times those are too high safeties, and we've been pretty efficient in our 2-minute offense. It's just you got to get the time. Gardner have to go through his reads. We have to get in our spots. It's less room for error opposed to one high safety man. If the route costs you to be 16 yards deep, then you have to be 16, and that's something that we can fix. But I don't think we're too bad at it. I think we're getting better at it, and I think we can be really efficient.
Thanks, DJ.
Thanks, Jamal. We'll go to John Shipley and then wrap up with Gene Fernett.
Hey, DJ, after your second touchdown, coach, of course, elected to go for 2 points. As a player, how do you feel about that mindset to kind of be aggressive near the end of the game and put pressure on the other team?
I love it, but me loving it don't change the fact that we got to get it, you know. But whatever the play is called, whatever it's called, you know, we got to execute. It was there. We just got to make it happen. Yeah, if we would have got it, you know, maybe that would have changed the offensive approach for the Bengals. Maybe they would have been more, you know, cautious, and maybe we could have made those plays and had a chance to make it a tie game. So, but any play called, I don't care, first, second, third down, going for 2, we just got to complete it.
Thanks, DJ.
Thanks, John. We'll wrap up with Gene Fernett.
Hey, DJ, could you just talk a little bit of just the overall disappointment that you guys feel? I mean, you're coming off a pretty bad game against the Miami Dolphins. This was a chance for redemption against a team that had struggled not only on defense but on offense, both sides of the ball. What's kind of the level of disappointment felt in that locker room right now?
Well, first, you know, I want to say that the Bengals are a good team. I know the record may not show that, but Joe Burrow is a hell of a player, and they have a hell of an offense, you know, and they not just going out there getting beat, 30-0, you know. So it was bound that that team was going to get a win. Unfortunately, it was against us. But, you know, the team, we just got to The mood in the locker room is basically we got to stick together, and the outside, I know we get home and we look on Instagram, we look at Twitter, and, you know, a lot of times we are, you know, the laughing stock because people love making jokes when they're not in the fire with us. But, you know, it's, at this point, it's forget them. You know, when I go out there and play, I'm playing for those 53, 56 guys. I don't care. I'm going to put my body on the line, and that's just what we have to do. And I feel like that's the feeling. And if it's not, that's what the feeling is going to be. You know, we just have to go out there. I don't care if we win every game moving on or don't win every game moving on. We're not going to quit for sure. And that's the mindset that we got to have, and somebody's going to have to feel us.
Thank you.
Thanks, DJ. You guys, we got Minshew ready to roll, so if you guys can just stay on. What's up, Garner? We'll start with D-Rock for this, and then we'll go to Cole Pepper.
Gardner, is there a feeling that you guys don't have any margin for error offensively with your defense playing the way it is, giving up so many points and yards, that you guys have got to be perfect or it's just not going to work?
You know, it's one of those things that, you know, we set out every drive to go score 7 points. You know, we fall short sometimes, we get it sometimes. You know, no matter what, I think we each got to take it one play at a time, one drive at a time mentality. And that's our best recipe for success.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. We'll go to Cole Pepper, and after that, we'll go to Mia O'Brien.
Gardner, I just want to ask you about how much different it was to have DJ Chark back out there, and if your expectations for this offense are that it's going to be, you know, that you can score 30 a game, because that's what it looks like you're going to need to win games.
Man, it's huge having DJ out there, man. He's, one of the top receivers in the league. I truly believe that. Went to the Pro Bowl last year. He's better than he was last year. And he's also grown into, you know, a leader and a guy that we can really count on. I believe the ceiling is very high for this offense. We ran the ball well today, threw it well at times. We just got to stay away from the drive killers, away from the turnovers, and I believe we can be really good.
Thank you, Cole. We'll go to Mia O'Brien, and after that, we'll go to Gene Fernett.
Hey, Gardner, you guys elect to take the ball first. No, Doug wanted to get off to that quick start. How would you evaluate your performance in terms of settling in the first half? Maybe did it take a little bit longer than it normally does versus then what happened in the second half as well?
Yeah, we started the first half pretty bad, started the second half pretty bad. So we're going to have to go back, look at it, see what we're doing wrong, and just make sure we're getting in, the right mindset each time we step out there.
And then just on the final drive in terms of when you spike it, what do you do? Obviously, you're looking for a Hail Mary situation in the very end. What was the conversation between you and Jay as you went out there for that drive?
Yeah, we just knew we'd have to, go try to put some points on the board to give ourselves a chance. We were going to try to, hit a big play, try to get in the end zone. But at that point, Coach made the call as the right call to kick the field goal, try to get the onside, and then have a chance at the Hail Mary once the clock got down that low.
Thanks, Gardner.
We'll go to Gene Fernett and then wrap up with John Shipley. Gene, I believe you're on mute.
And obviously, end of the first half, end of game, you guys really moved the ball well in the hurry-up situations. But in the other possessions, it just seemed like you guys just could not get into any kind of a rhythm, at least not the rhythm that you would like to see.
Yeah, we feel really good about our 2-minute offense. We're doing some good things. Guys are catching the ball, making plays. We just got to bring more consistency, I think, is the big thing. We have the capability to go do that every drive. We just have to find the consistency, the focus to be able to do that more often.
As a follow-up, what happened on the short throw to O'Shaughnessy where you kind of threw the ball into the ground? Did the ball do something in your hand, or was it as much pressure as you felt because he was open, but you weren't able to get the ball to him? It was probably about a crossing route of about 8 yards.
Yeah. Yep. I go to throw the ball. As it leaves my hand, it flies through the air, and James didn't catch it. So that's how it works sometimes.
Gardner, I'm talking about the throw where the pass fell like about 4 yards short of James.
I'm with you, Gene. I'm with you. I missed it.
Okay.
It's bad throw.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Gene. We'll wrap up with John Shipley.
Hey, Gardner, can you just talk a little bit about, as a player, what were your thoughts on, Coach Marone going for 2 and really showing the aggressiveness there? I know DJ said earlier that as a player, he loves being aggressive in that situation.
Yeah, no, I love when Coach Marone puts his faith in us. We got to deliver for him. I think he has a lot of belief in us. We have a lot of belief in ourselves as well. We just got to cash in when we get those opportunities.
Thanks, Gardner.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gardner.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gardner.
Let's get started with Demetrius, and then we'll go to John Reed.
Hey, Bree, it seemed like in the first half you guys were able to get a good handle on Joe Mixon, and then in the second half it sort of got away from you guys. What sort of changes happened from first half to second half for you guys to struggle a little bit?
I think the most obvious changes was really just execution. I think they came out and they had an emphasis on trying to run between the tackles and things like that, and we did a good job of balling that up and really restricting the run game. And then in the second half, they really just started hitting one way and cutting back and really testing our responsibilities. And we didn't execute properly. I mean, every man on the defense has a gap, and we got to be able to trust every man on that field to make that play when it comes to them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Demetrius. We'll go to John Reed, and after that, we'll go to Mark Long.
What's your level of frustration of not being able to get enough pressure on Joe Burrow today?
High.
And what do you attribute to? What was it? Do you attribute that to the offensive line, or what do you attribute to not getting a lot of pressure on him today?
I mean, their offensive line gets paid too, just like us. They did their job, we didn't. I think we have tremendous talent on this D line. I mean, first round talent, year in and year out, that's on this team right now, and we're not getting enough. I think we'll have to look at ourselves and really see that there's a lot of problems, but there's some things that start with us up front, and definitely pressure is one of them.
Thank you, John. We'll go to Mark Long, and after that, we'll go to Jamal.
What can you do at this point, Abe, to create some pressure up front? This is not like it's a 1 week thing, to be honest.
I mean, we got to do what we always do. We got to practice, and we got to make an emphasis. Me being a vet on this team and being pretty much the old head in the room and stuff like that, I'm going to have to find a way to motivate these guys. There's too much talent out here that's not getting their name called on Sundays for doing what they do best. I mean, I really don't have no secret formula for you. That's just the good old football, blue-collar grit. Go back to the drawing board, grind it out, and make the results come on Sunday. I feel like if we do that, come back, we get a good couple weeks back-to-back, this will just look like an old problem. We can roll forward and really become a better defense.
Thank you, Mark. We'll go to Jamal, and then we'll go to Mia O'Brien.
All right, Abe. Do you still feel like this defense can be a good defense this year?
Yes. I'm always going to believe in my guys. I mean, it comes down to just straight execution. We gave up some bad numbers in the beginning. I don't know where it's going to lead in the whole 1 through 32 ranking and stuff like that, but I feel like this is a defense that can turn around, execute, and take out the mistakes that we've been making, and we can get on a nice run to put some wins together and get where we want to go further in this season. And after that, I mean, once we get ourselves in position and we get to a postseason play, we're going to look like a good defense.
Thanks, Abe.
Thanks, Jamal. We'll go to Mia O'Brien and then Gene Fernett.
Hey, Abe, first things first, just want to make sure, know you were listed with the ankle injury earlier in the week. You're good to go?
Yeah, I played all games, so I'm good.
Awesome. And then just curious, speaking of, various injuries, obviously Miles goes out, CJ goes out. Did you notice a drop off, especially in run defense, as you guys did have guys forced to leave with injury?
I mean, tell you honestly, it was already a drop a little bit. We didn't really come focused in that second half. But we never want, key players getting hurt. I mean, Miles has been doing a tremendous job coming downhill and making plays on running backs, so he's definitely going to be missed if he leaves out. And DJ has always been a nickel and a corner that's not afraid to come up and tackle, so he was definitely missed. But, I mean, it's the NFL. I mean, people get hurt, next man up. Next man got the same dream as the first man, to make it in this league. So if someone goes down, you got to be able to make that play, or they're going to find somebody who's going to make it for you.
And last thing, just why do you think in the second half you guys weren't focused? Why do you think Mixon was able to really take advantage?
Why we was focused, I don't know. I haven't asked enough people yet. But me personally, it's just execution and responsibilities. I really feel like he had too many clean runs when he cut back on the defense. I really feel like if guys executing, doing their responsibility, someone at least is going to try to slow them down. So right now I'm just going to say execution because I haven't watched the film yet.
Awesome. Thanks, Abe.
Thanks, Mia. We'll go to Gene Fernett and then wrap up with Cassidy Hill.
Mike's muted, Gene.
Gene, I believe you're on mute.
You guys are unmuting me. I mean, I unmute it and then you mute me back. Avery, you've been through this with the Jaguars more than any other player in that locker room in terms of level of disappointment at different junctures in the season. Where would you say that you are right now with what's happening, 4 games into this season?
You mean how? Feeling?
Yeah, I mean, your expectations are to play well and execute, and just the level of disappointment when it doesn't happen.
I mean, I'm frustrated. I mean, that's obvious. We all play this game to win. Like you said, I've been through this more than most, and I want something to change. Yeah. Am I disappointed in guys? No, because I'm still rooting for everybody on this team, rooting for everybody on this defense. I know the type of players that we have, and I know the type of talent they have, and I know how hard they work. So I'm never going to be disappointed. I'm just going to keep on encouraging them, keep having their back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gene. We'll wrap up with Cassidy Hill.
Actually, Mia took both of mine. Sorry, I was trying to put it in the chat. Thank you, though.
With John Shipley.
Okay. Avery, you mentioned, of course, it's next player up, but just specifically with how Miles Jack's been playing, how big of a loss is it for you guys whenever he's not on the field?
I mean, Miles has been a playmaker since he stepped on the field. So, I mean, it's always going to be drastic to replace that playmaker. But, I mean, next guy got to come in has to kind of relish that opportunity. I mean, if your guy coming in replacing a big name, bullseye's going to be on you. But it's also going to look good if you make those plays that you're supposed to make. So, I mean, Dakota, he came in. I feel like he's a guy that can really has enough speed, just like Miles, athletic. He can get downhill, make plays, and he just has to do that. And then when Miles gets back, hopefully he's good to go. We can continue this defense going on.
Thanks, Avery. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you, Avery.
Thanks, Avery. Yeah, for sure.
vote. Mike gets a vote. Fred gets a vote and a half because he's in the pride of the Jaguars, and he's Fred Taylor. So I'm going to start off this week.
All right.
I'm going with DJ Chark. Back in the lineup, and his presence was felt right away. 9 targets, 8 catches, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a toe drag touchdown early, a 2-yarder late in the game where he ripped the ball away from the guy. He had a 4th down catch to keep a drive alive in the second half, and you can tell that he just brings a little energy, a little bit of extra juice to this offense when he's out there. I'm going DJ Chark.
All right, why don't we let the Hall of Fame semifinalists go next?
That's easy, man. I'm going to echo what JP just said, man. 9 targets. He pulled in 8 of them, 95 yards for 2 touchdowns. I love the toe tap, and then he showed some strength right there. He got big. He got real big and strong when he ripped the ball away there late. So he's one of the best receivers we had there in Jacksonville, and since I'm having a brain fart. Allen,
yeah,
one of those Allen boys.
Allen Robinson,
A-Rob, right? Exactly. So, but I think this one, he's even better. He's a lot more dynamic.
Interesting. By the way, I only said why don't we let Fred go next because I didn't want to make his vote a moot point.
Of course.
Because it's obviously unanimous.
I appreciate that, Big Mike.
No doubt, brother. DJ Chark, man, 8 for 95, couple of scores. Good to have him back. Adds I think you're right, Fred. Dynamic is a good word for it. Dynamic element to the passing game. Shenault started to show up a little bit today, and they need both of these guys here at the top of the depth chart at wide receiver. Nobody else had more than 46 receiving yards today, so welcome back, DJ Chark. We need more of these games going forward.
No doubt. He's the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game today, and if you're looking for an MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Baptist Health Injury Report when we come back. Bengals 33, Jaguars 25, and it's Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
Jaguars fans, Brian Sexton here. I've discovered something that will take your tailgates to the next level this football season. Bernie Grills. You've never seen anything like these portable all-wood grills. Bernie's are convenient, affordable, and simple to use with no messy cleanup. Bernie's real alder wood flavor makes burgers and brats taste delicious. I grilled some steaks on mine the other night, and they were incredible. So get your Bernie Grill for the next game at BernieGrill.com or at Amazon. Bernie Grill. Light. Grill. Done.
Now more than ever, the Jaguars want to recognize our fans in everything you do to make football, well, football. As part of the NFL Fan of the Year contest, the Jaguars are searching for one extraordinary Jaguars fan whose positive influence inspires others in Northeast Florida through their love of the game. You can win a trip to Super Bowl 55. Visit NFL.com/Fan of the Year now to nominate yourself or others for a chance to win.
Floridians know what it means to stand together. That's why Florida Blue is committed to the people of Florida by providing health care with lower costs and higher quality. Enroll within 60 days of life-changing events, such as losing your job, to get benefits like plans as low as $0 a month and up to $500 per year towards your premiums and wellness rewards. Call 1-800-750-0164 or visit floridablue.com/care today. Florida Blue is a trade name of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida, Incorporated. These health benefit plans have limitations and exclusions.
Census takers are in your neighborhood, so if the future of healthcare is important to you, answer the door.
If the future of education matters to you and your kids, answer the census takers' simple questions. The 2020 census is coming to a close. If you haven't been counted yet, your voice will be missing for the next decade. Billions in federal funds will be spent based on who gets counted. You can still respond and help shape the future by saying hello to your friendly census taker. Or go to 2020census.gov today.
Bengals 33, Jags 25. Jaguars postgame rolls along. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Time now for the injury report presented by Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. And get your pencils and your scorecards ready. It's a long list today. 3 players were officially ruled out of the game with injuries in the game today. C.J. Henderson had a shoulder issue late in the first quarter. He did not return after halftime after going in for evaluation. Miles Jack with an ankle issue ruled out in the third quarter, and you saw a big difference right away when he was gone. DJ Hayden had to be basically carried off the field after a hamstring injury in the fourth quarter, and then was later carted back to the locker room. Laviska Shenault in the fourth quarter. Doug Marrone said after the game to the media it was a hamstring issue, and remember, Shenault popped up on the injury report Friday, limited with a hamstring issue. Not sure if it's the same one, but he was on the report this week. Let's see some other names. Josh Allen had a knee issue in the second quarter, but came back in the game. Trey Herndon was shaken up for a bit in the second quarter after collision with DJ Hayden, but I think he returned. Cam Robinson in the fourth quarter was whipped from behind and had basically rolled up, kind of kicked in the backside and the back of the knee, so he was out of the game for a little bit. And then Tyler Eifert was being evaluated for a concussion, but was back in the ball game later. That's a long, long list today.
A lot of key guys, a lot of starters there. So, gonna have to just hope that most of them heal up this week, have them available to you next week, because again, nobody's feeling sorry for you in the National Football League. Tough times, Fred, with that injury report facing the Jags.
Yeah, Mike, man, it's, again, you said it, no one's going to feel sorry for you. I said a few minutes ago, it's slim pickings out there in the free agent market. Young team, what is it, 12 more games to go? Yep. So, I mean, we got to pray for the guys. The guys got to be smart. They got to make sure hydrating properly, because what I'm seeing a lot around the NFL, not just in Jacksonville, but around the NFL, you have the soft tissue injuries. A lot of hamstrings, a lot of pulls there, and a lot of ankle injuries. Not any severe high ankle, not a lot of lows, but just ankle nicks. And then you sprinkle in a few ACL, some knee injuries here and there, and those are unfortunate for those guys. And I pray that they have a recovery the following year. But right now, Mike and JP, guys just got to make sure that they're hydrating properly after these games and that they're resting. You want to rest, because unlike any other year, this dynamic, and this year due to COVID, it's been so different. It's affected the scoring, the all-time scoring of the history of the NFL. We're talking about the all-time points scored in the first 4 weeks in the history of the game due to a virus that has ravaged the entire globe. I mean, the virus is serious. It's done a lot, and it's affected this game a lot. And not only that, I mean, the guys weren't able to build their foundation through preseason. And I know there were some talks in the previous years, owners wanted to do away with preseason. But look at it now. So these statistics should sway those decisions, down the road. I'm on standby looking to see what happens.
We'll see in the coming years, the reaction after what's happened. We'll see if it continues as well. It is the first quarter of the season in the books. Let's come back in a moment. And we'll preview next week's game. The Jags are back in the AFC South on the road again. A battle of teams with a combined record of 1-7. The Jags get the Texans next week, and it's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network. Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, the CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing staffing firms in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI knows how important it is to find the right people for your team. See why some of Jacksonville's top companies choose CSI for their staffing needs. Visit thecsicompanies.com or call 800-582-0828 today. That's 800-582-0828 for the CSI Companies.
Some things make a house your home. Like clean, fresh sheets that make a bed with the soothing scent of fabric softener your thing. When drying clothes with natural gas, you get faster, gentler drying times, save money, and earn a rebate up to $150. Your home. Our safe, reliable, efficient energy. Love natural gas. Find rebate details at peoplesgas.com.
Oi. Bonjour.
Xin chào.
Добрый день. كيف فينا نساعدكم?
¿Cómo te podemos ayudar?
If you have an accident, the last thing you should have to worry about is a language barrier. That's why at Farah & Farah, we have a team as diverse as our clients. So no matter what language you speak, we'll fight for your voice. Farah & Farah, here for you.
نحن هون للكل.
Ici pour vous. Aquí para todos.
Here for all. Jacksonville.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, our arms are wide open to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Space Force, and the DoD. All are welcome to join, whether you're active duty, a veteran, or if you have family who have served. We've always got your six. That's why members earn and save $361 more per year by banking with us. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA. Visit NavyFederal.org. Dollar value based on 2019 study by Navy Federal.
Welcome back. Final moments of Jaguars postgame after Jags lost to the Cincinnati Bengals today. It took me a second.
It did.
It's starting to run together now. Week 4, Jags fall to the Bengals 33-25. Yes, Fred.
Too soon for that, Fred.
Don't forget it, man.
Well,
I'd like to.
I do know that next week the Jaguars visit Houston. They'll face the perennial powerhouse in the AFC South, the Houston Texans. But, Fred, this year the Texans are 0-4. They lost today to the Minnesota Vikings 31-23. Oh, boy, a combined 1-7 record between these teams next week, Fred.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, JP. The Texans, they're having their issues, and over the years, their issues more than anything, JP, they got a way to protect Watson. They just gave him a gang of money, but you can't protect the guy. So you're going to have some issues. He's running around the entire game. And, I mean, for us, it doesn't mean a lot. We just talked about Burrow being sacked 11 times and hit 25 times in the past 2 weeks. And we only got to him once on a slide into home plate there. So I don't know how much the stats mean anything when it comes to that. I know these teams pretty much hate each other. They have to fight for position in the AFC South, and it's still early. I mean, the Jaguars beat the Colts. The Texans hadn't really beat much of anyone. The Titans are playing okay. They have to get back healthy over there and get to their next game. But I say that just to say the Jaguars will play better. They get better after halftime. They've been outscored after halftime 30-10. They only scored one touchdown in the span of 4 weeks coming out of halftime. We have been talking about starting fast. I think today was their best start fast opportunity. They missed a field goal and a potential touchdown. They settled for a field goal instead and ended up 13-10. But prior to the day, they were down 21-7 to the Dolphins, 21-10 to the Titans, 17-14 to the Colts. So that was to start the beginning of the game, but third quarter has been worse than the beginning of the game. So they got to really look at going back, making those adjustments at halftime, coming out in the third quarter and putting up some points. Because after I looked at that today, I was like, this seems a little fishy here. They haven't had the best starts in the beginning, but the third quarters have been even worse. The past 2 weeks, they outscored 24-0.
Yeah, and you're right, Fred, about Deshaun Watson. They're going to pop in that tape in Houston, and they're going to be like, finally, we're going to have some time to throw the football. And that's how I think a lot of teams are going to feel until the Jaguars prove them wrong. And, right now I just don't see where it's going to come from. I just don't. They're not getting any push up the middle, Fred, so those guys on the ends can get double-teamed. And, the more guys you get banged up in the secondary, and we'll see if these are short-term injuries or what, but that's, if you're getting your first read, you're getting to your first read and that guy's open, there's no time for those pass rushers to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, and what I recall, the best of my memory right now, I'm not looking at the numbers, but I do recall Fitzpatrick had a hell of a day. Running around with the ball, creating opportunity in the pass game.
Yes.
Then he was extremely accurate. What was he, 90% or something like that in the pass game?
Yes, he was good.
So, I mean, we're talking about Deshaun Watson. He gives everyone fits with his legs. Even though they're not blocking great for him up there, he's able to extend the plays. They got a great running back, and David Johnson. He's a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. He's going to catch those checkdowns. And if you miss him in the open field, it can get ugly for the secondary. So it's going to be a game where the Jaguars are going to have to, heal up, get healthy, and when they get out there, they're going to have to make sure they play discipline, and they're going to have to make some tackles. They're going to have to tackle well.
All right, Fred, 1 o'clock kickoff time next week. The Jags in Houston to face the Texans, and we will talk to you next week on the pregame. Thanks, Fred.
Yes, sir.
Fred Taylor.
Good seeing you guys, fellas. Good hearing from you guys.
Yeah,
man.
Good to talk to you.
You too, man.
Good to talk to you. We'll talk to you again soon. Fred Taylor.
All right, guys, be good.
Pride of the Jaguars running back with us. For those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is coming up next with your calls. NFL Network analyst Bucky Brooks joins us as well. Senior VP of Communications is Dan Edwards. Jags VP of Production is Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio is Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Brent Reaver, Trent Padilla, and Max Hockman produce the shows for Jaguars.com. For Jeff Lageman, Fred Taylor, and Mike Dempsey, this is J.P. Shadrick saying good evening. Final score, 33-25. Bengals over the Jaguars in Week 4 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
This is the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, Geico, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show. Final score today, Bengals 33, Jaguars 25. J.P. Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks will join us from Los Angeles, California. Well, this was a lead for the first time in a while for this team early and at halftime.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they kept handing the ball to Mixon after all the injuries, and that's all she wrote.
No, that was it. Mixon broke their back in the second half, and I don't know if it was directly Miles Jack related. Some of it was, him not being in there, but just overall, I had a guy coming in averaging 3.2 yards per carry, JP, and you let him run wild on you and hurt you in the passing game as well. He looked more explosive than he has at any point this season. We know he's a talented player. He just had been quiet up until now, and once they're hitting you from two ways, you don't have much of a chance here because the Jags have done a decent job against the run up until this point, and they're still giving up tons of points. So today, Burrow, not his best game, but not bad. 300 yards with a touchdown. He had the pick that was, that was a 50-50 ball at best. It might have been a 60-40 ball for his receiver.
Sure.
And Miles Jack just made a heck of a play. So Burrow could have easily had a clean day with 300 yards and a couple of scores. But when you factor in Mixon, 151 on the ground, a total of 181 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns, you got no chance.
So the Jags fall today 33-25. Bucky Brooks from Los Angeles, California will be with us in just a moment. We'll have your calls, 355-NFL1, 355-6351, the number. We'll get to the calls and to Bucky when we come back. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Dailies, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Dailies.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm tree swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now. You're on Tropic Time now. And right now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, try our watermelon mojito and guava margarita smoothies. And you're tasting fruity now, sipping sunshine now, toasting summer now. You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
You're working from home. So how do you connect with coworkers and clients? With RingCentral, the #1 global communication solution for business. RingCentral makes talking, texting, collaborating, and video calls easy. And it's all on one platform. And when we say everyone should be connected, we mean it. It's why we're giving RingCentral free to educators, health providers, and nonprofits. Learn more at ringcentral.com. Welcome to the new RingCentral.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Jaguars fans, game day is back. And this year we've teamed up with Jameson to add another win to your week with official Jaguars and Jameson branded collectible stadium cups. They're only available for a limited time in the Jacksonville metro area. So grab yours today, pour a smooth Jameson, ginger and lime, and cheer on the Jags with Jameson. Taste responsibly. Jameson Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof, product of Ireland, copyright 2020, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
Kessler Creative, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, has the large format printing services running in high gear, creating large banners for marketing events, full vehicle wraps. Learn how Kessler changes the game with print and direct mail innovation. From eye-catching restaurant menus to real estate yard signs and event displays, Kessler does it all. Kessler Creative, Jacksonville, Florida. Results-driven marketing and a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Scoreboard Show continues. Bengals win 33-25 over the Jags. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks coming up shortly. John Party is coming up shortly as well. That's next week, Friday and Saturday in Lot J, adjacent to TIAA Bank Field and Daly's Place. It is a drive-in concert. Tickets available on a per-car basis with maximum capacity limited to the number of seat belts in the car. So nobody in the trunk, okay, Mike?
All right.
Visit Ticketmaster.com for more. Yeah, this is a tough one today. 33-25. Bengals ran in the second half especially. Jags had a halftime lead. Mixon had the two big runs, 34-yarder, 23-yarder to pull out in front and up by 11 at that point. And they just kind of held off the Jags the rest of the way in this football game today. It just wasn't enough. DJ Chark returned to the lineup. That was a good sign. He played well in his return. They had to kind of get away from the run there.
I thought James Robinson played well again, though.
He did. Absolutely, he did, yes. Chenault was a factor again. We'll see how bad the hamstring is.
He was more of a factor than he's been.
Yeah.
Even though he scored the touchdown against Indy, I just felt like there were more plays down the field, like you're starting to see him emerge a little bit more. Before that, it had been everything very much within 5 to 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, crossing patterns, see if he can break a tackle here. Let a few more air yards going his way.
355 NFL1 is the number, 355-6351. Your calls. What do you got, Mike?
Oh, we've got Matt in Orlando going to lead things off here on the Scoreboard Show. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Thank you for letting me on.
another tough day as a Jaguar fan. I've been a fan since 95. I'm 31 years old now, and the routine's kind of starting to become a trend. And essentially what I want to call about is Jaguar fans just hold back. We're probably not going to be good and competitive this year. Our defense really is not there. Obviously we let go of a lot of free agents. We need a lot of work on the defense through the draft. And, hey, man, just enjoy this year. Just be blessed that we're all still here. I just don't see us really doing too much this year, honestly, if you ask me. The offense looks great. It's a bright spot. Is Gardner Minshew the franchise quarterback? I don't know. There's times today where he was just looking off, and we just can't have that as a starting franchise. You look at Mahomes, you look at all the quarterbacks around the AFC. When it's time to get into the playoffs late into the season, we got to have a quarterback that's ready to go. I don't know. I'm a huge Minshew fan. Don't get me wrong, but today I kind of saw a crack in the armor. I don't want to blame the offense, the defense. We're just not ready, guys. If it was me, I'm packing it up for this year. Let's just hope we get a few wins, and that's about it, man. I'll take your answers off the air, man. Hey, man, no reason to be depressed, man. It is what it is. We're all Jaguar fans, so, hey, man, we're used to this.
Thank you, Matt. Well, I don't like the fact that they are used to it, JP, but
right.
I think, overall, look, unless there's I don't see where the reinforcements come on the defense. It's not like you're going to get new personnel.
That's the real trouble now, is that, I was pretty confident in them being able to improve as the season went along, I think, as a total group offense working with the defense together. That's with everybody there, because you've seen some pieces of this offense that can come play and put up some stats and do some things, right? And the defense, work in progress, obviously. But when you lose 3 frontline guys today, who knows how long they're out.
Right.
Help's not on the way in the short term, let's put it that way, and in terms of filling those roster spots if they have to go on IR and all that. So it's a real challenge. When Miles Jack's playing, he's tied for the league leading tackles coming into this game.
He was Pro Football Focus's highest-graded linebacker through 3 weeks.
So, he was great.
He was playing exceptional football.
First-round pick corner. We'll see how long he's down.
Yep.
He left the game today. DJ Hayden, the veteran corner who plays nickel.
The thing with just to go back to C.J. Henderson here quickly, it's not that, okay, C.J. Henderson, if he's on the field, they've still given up a lot of points. You don't want him to miss any time. This is development time now.
Right.
You got 12 games left in this season, and you want to get all the growing pains, as many as you can, out of the system, right? And so I tend to agree with Matt. I mean, look, realistically, is this team a playoff team? No. That doesn't mean they're going to stop fighting.
Correct.
They're going to play hard every single week and try to win as many games as they possibly can. But the reality is they just don't have the horses right now, and if they're going to start getting injuries like they had today, they're really going to be in a bad way. So.
Yeah, especially if they get more injuries from here on. I mean, there's 12 teams left.
It happens. Everybody gets injuries, right? Nobody has that kind of quality depth to that degree. All right, let's get to one more here. Thank you, Matt. John in Callahan next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing? I think a lot of this goes on to coaching. Our last coach did not win a lot of games. But then again, we have a defensive coordinator that blitzes in the second half and not in the front half, in the first quarter or the first half of the game. So you're not wearing down the offensive line for the other team. And another thing I want to bring up is I think Gardner Minshew loses a lot of people on the left side of the field when he's getting a lot of pressure. So that's what I've got to say, gentlemen. I am thoroughly disgusted with this year, and I just want to put this out there for you. Chicago is losing. Have a nice day.
All right.
Okay, I guess
Thank you very much.
That's an anti-Nick Foles sentiment.
Apparently so.
I guess.
Or Allen Robinson, one of the two.
It could be both, but they're also 3-0 on the season. So, you know what? No matter what happens to them today,
and don't count them out because they could rally like they did last year.
I'll say this about Minshew. Look, the guys pointed out on the broadcast, he continues at times, not always, but at times, to feel phantom pressure, right? That he's bobbing and weaving, he's ducking and dodging when he could just stand tall and just stand in there and turn his head and look, and the pocket at times is really good. Now, I don't know if that's a product of He's had to do that at times here, but this year's protection hasn't been terrible.
Right. And
he is abandoning the pocket too quickly. Or if he is staying in there, he's really just looking around I'm going to see if I can make the next 3 guys miss and then poke my head up and see if I can catch a guy downfield. But it's something. Look, obviously, he's only played about a year's worth of football in the NFL.
Today was the 16th start.
Sure, but it's got to get better.
Sure.
That awareness has to get better, and I don't know how much it has at this point in time.
And I asked him about it this week. We heard from him in the pregame show about that, and basically it's that. You have to go play, and then it becomes a feel thing, the comfort around. But there are moments, as you said, where he puts that head down, all of a sudden he's got to go because there's no chance you lose everybody downfield. Once you put that head down and start ducking and weaving, it's tough to find guys again.
It's like we say with the referee, call what you see, right? Don't call what you think you saw. React to what you actually see. And I understand